The title of this presentation is Invest in Your Dream Vacation or Investment Property with Our Amazing Team. I am Lauren Cohen. I am an international lawyer and cross-border expert and real estate investor guide. And I have been working in this space for many years, especially focusing on Canadians investing in real estate in the US, not just Florida, but all over the US, quite literally all over the US, and for that matter, all over the world. I have a couple of investors that are investing in Mexico and Costa Rica and Belize and, typically warm places, but not exclusively. It just so happens. We're going to talk about the 7 elements of a successful investment process, working with a seasoned realtor, accessing leaseback options, which these projects are going to offer to you, securing amazing financing rates, even for foreign nationals. Actually, Brian had the pleasure of meeting the sponsor of my podcast when I was in Toronto in July. She is a representative of Lendi, which is a company that specializes in helping in funding non-owner occupied Canadian investors into US real estate, believe it or not, specifically. So it's been a great relationship, and they are sponsoring my podcast. I'll talk a little bit more about them later. Avoiding double taxation, expert handling of cross-border issues, and finding your dream home in Florida with the potential of a 10% return, all for potentially less than $250,000. So we want to satisfy all of your check boxes by finding the best property for you. Again, working with the seasoned realtor and lawyer without missing a beat. It's truly an all-in-one solution. I am recording this, aren't I? Yes, okay, good. Sorry, too many things going on in my brain today. And if you guys are putting stuff in the chat, I apologize. I'm not monitoring the chat while I'm doing the presentation, but I will definitely answer any questions after. And when Craig's here, I'll monitor the chat, okay? And Sherry, you can always, tell me if there's something important that needs my attention, please. All right, nobody on this call is shy, at least nobody that I know, so I'm not really worried. This is a little bit about me and a little bit about Craig. As I mentioned, I'm a cross-border lawyer. I'm also a realtor. I am licensed in Ontario still. I pay more to be a non-practicing Ontario lawyer than a practicing US lawyer. Isn't that crazy? So, and I've been doing that for a really long time, but I figured, I went to school for so long, I just don't want to give that up, because once in a while I need to do a shareholders agreement, and guess what? I can. I'm the podcast host of Investing Across Borders. Some of you may know of that podcast, and I have some really great guests on there. Actually, Brent Gove has been a guest, and Michael Valdez, for example, on the EXP side. Very, very sophisticated investors across borders. Jay Fassett, who's from Calgary, Imana Guy, Mike Wolf, who I had dinner with tonight, like I said, and you name it, and we really cover it. It's not just about people that are doing investments, but also having an impact across borders internationally. And just a lot of fun to run the podcast. I'm actually in my 2nd year, so it's fun. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary. So we have a turnkey team, and we offer everything from setting up entities to creating the structure to making sure you don't pay double taxation to handling the real estate investments to closing and everything in between. And so my superpower rests in paving a path to an immigration visa through real estate investing and business, of course, and navigating a path for you clients to invest, live, work, and play across borders. I'm also an active real estate investor, and Craig can introduce himself in just a minute. But one of the things that I wanted to mention is the goal of the presentation is to just give you some information about some of our, selected projects. We've only selected 4 because how many can we possibly present in the matter of an hour? But also just to whet your appetites about 2 different types of projects. 2 of the 4 are condos, and the other 2 are single family and townhomes. And so their price ranges are from like $250 all the way to $1 million. And it's not the only option, because there's a lot of resale options as well that are available in different price points. So it really just depends on what you want. And the goal is to build a structure and strategy that's focused on you and accomplishing your goals, not Joe's goals, not Fred's goals, but your goals. And how do your goals fit in with what you're trying to do, and making sure that while you're doing it, you have the right structure in place so that you don't get caught paying the CRA or the IRS money that you otherwise could be putting in your pocket. So Craig, I'm going to turn it over to you for a quick second to introduce yourself. Thanks for coming.
All right. It's been a busy night running from investment dinners to presentations. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I see a lot of friends and colleagues. Ron in the house. What's up, Ron?
Italy.
Oh, what's going on, pal? Got a lot of great people that some I met today, some that I've known for a long time. My name is Craig Peleg, everyone. I am a local real estate professional here in South Florida. I've been selling real estate here in Florida since 2004. My family since 1980. And today we're going to share some properties in the Orlando area that might be of interest to some of you. I run a team of about a little under 200 agents here at EXP. Throughout the US and Canada and several other countries. I've been selling vacation properties in Central Florida since the beginning of my career. And it has become a super hot spot throughout the country right now. Orlando is probably one of the hottest cities in the US with over 1,000 new residents moving to Orlando each day. So we're going to share a little bit about these projects, Lauren. I'm not going to go talk too much more about myself. We'll just get rock and rolling here.
So we, as I mentioned at the beginning, there's kind of these 7 elements of a successful cross-border investment strategy or investing in US real estate or specifically Florida. And we're going to get into the details about each of these projects and the net ROI and how they offer these leaseback options and the appreciation, of course, especially because most of the ones that we're presenting are pre-construction. Now there are, as I mentioned, great resales, there's rehab opportunities. We have access to all of that. So it just depends again on your goals, or maybe you want a hybrid of multiple types of investment properties based on your goals and your strategy. And obviously if a visa is a part of your strategy, then your investment portfolio might be a little bit different, okay? Financing options are ranging from 20% if you're a domestic investor to 35% down payment if you're from another country, particularly Canada. And a lot of them have in-house lenders and even offer amazing, like I just saw at the Nbc Suites, and I don't remember if you know this, Craig, but they give up to $5,000 at closing if you use their lender and title company.
I paid attention to the presentation for sure. And they actually give the $5,000 if you use the in-house lender or you pay cash. So it's just sort of nice. They're giving you that closing cost credit either way.
So we bring in my cross-border tax advisor if you are from another country or if you have clients from another country. And the beauty of all of this, especially for realtors, is that you have the opportunity to collaborate with us to represent your client on these Florida projects, and you can get referral fees no matter where you are, which is great because all it really takes is an introduction and we take it from there. And for the most part, a lot of these projects handle everything for us. It's very hands off, and especially for you as the referral partner. So, but the key is that we can bring the team together that will make sure that they're not going to be subject to double taxation if they are from another country, and figuring out how that all works, which is not my cup of tea or area of expertise. And that's why I have a cross-border tax expert on my team. So when somebody asks me a tax question, I say, I do not know. I have a cross-border tax guy to help you. Just like, I don't know about divorce law. That's not my specialty. So this slide has become a pretty relevant slide for most of my cross-border investors and all of my foreign national or my CIPS realtors, because it's like, well, what are the top 10 issues that come up when you're investing across borders? And these are the top 10. The top 10 things to avoid is that you fail to hire the right team, that you wait for the perfect time to invest. Well, all of us know there's no such thing as the perfect time to invest. It's now. Hiring the least expensive professionals without proper vetting, just finding them on Google or somebody that paid to get to the top of the rankings. Investing in a new country without regard to the implications in the home country. That's a big deal because especially for Canadians investing in the US, you just go through a company, and we won't name any names, that charges $20,000, $30,000 a year for their coaching. And you don't really understand how that's going to impact you when you take the money back home, wherever that home may be. And it's a big problem because it's not one size fits all, as I mentioned in number 6, and approaching it as if it is going to create a lot of problems for you. Investing without proper due diligence or analyzing the investment, that's a big challenge as well, because a lot of people will look at, let's say, Ohio, where there's properties for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and they'll say, oh, I can make that investment. It's kind of like name that tune, and wow, let's just do it. I mean, what's the big deal? Oh, okay, there is a big deal, because you don't know what you're buying. Just because the price is low doesn't mean it's such a great buy, does it? We all know that the quality comes with the price. So we want to do the proper due diligence. Overlooking the importance of a business or investment and securing a visa. These are important things because it's going to give you access back and forth across the border. Running before you walk and haphazardly investing without a plan. This is also a challenge because we don't want to just say, I want to invest in this and this and this and this, and now we have nothing left and we don't know what we're going to do. And there comes number 10, which is undercapitalizing, excuse me, and over investing your own funds. How many of us like using other people's money? I do. The featured projects that we're going to go through are the Nbc Suites Condo Hotel, which is the first of its kind from under the Hilton brand, which is exciting. The Grove and the Grove Terraces, Windsor Island, which is a Pulte project, and Story Lake, which is Lennar. So those of us that are in South Florida are probably familiar with Lennar, and Pulte is a great builder as well. Now, we haven't selected these, excuse me, hold on. We haven't selected these projects for any particular reason other than they appeal to us. And so we've chosen these 4 to focus on, but that doesn't mean that there aren't 20 other amazing projects that we can present to you or your buyers when they're ready to go. Craig, over to you.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go over these and try to make this painless. Everyone's had I'm sure, a long day like me. So I'll try to be concise. Lauren, I lost the screen again.
My fault. Hold on.
Yeah. Let's try to do this with the screen on. You're trying to challenge my presentation skills without any slides again. Bear with us, guys. What's up, Sherry? All right.
Hey, I love watching you wing it.
Sure. We got a good crew on tonight. I still don't see it, Lauren. All right, now we're coming up. Okay, so we're going to talk about Nbc Suites by Hilton. Nbc Suites is the banner hotel chain for Hilton, and Hilton really hasn't ever done any condo hotels. And Nbc Suites by Hilton in Orlando on Sunset Walk is the first of its kind. It is in pre-construction. Next slide, please, Lauren. So there are 5 buildings that are being constructed on this project. It is located directly adjacent to Margaritaville Resort. So you see like those little red specks there, and beneath the bottom portion of that lake, and to the right of that lake, that's all Margaritaville. Can you guys see my pointer? Yes, no, maybe so. Sherry.
I cannot see your pointer.
All right. So anyway, on the right side of this long lake, you'll see those red home sites and the sites beneath it. Lauren's sort of pointing at it now. And so that whole area is Margaritaville. And Margaritaville has been a tremendous success across the country. Jimmy Buffett's resorts, and they've been having about 90% occupancy at those locations. They are, the hotel actually has typical hotel rooms, studios, and 1-bedrooms. And then they also have cottages there that are like 3 to 10 bedroom homes, and then villas that are smaller residences. And then you see those 2 vacant parcels there that are sticking out across from the red portion that are just green grass. Those 2 right there, that's going to be most likely future projects in Margaritaville. And so Margaritaville has been crushing it. It was built around 3.5 years ago. One of my colleagues from my old Keller Williams office, she moved to Margaritaville and decided, hey, I'm going to get a vacation property in Orlando. That sounds like fun. And she ended up becoming a resident there and became like the to-go-to agent in the area, and is selling like 10 or 15 units resale per month there. And they're like, I don't know, they've gone up to like over $1 million a unit. And when they were first selling, they were like 300,000 to 700,000. And I see 1.3, 1.4 every day. She's making another sale in this area. So needless to say, the appreciation in the last 3 years there has been skyrocketing. The occupancy rates have been awesome there. And Margaritaville Resorts has only 2 million registered members that are part of their club. And I forgot the exact figure, but I think it's about 100 and something odd million members at Hilton. So Hilton rewards members. So every person who purchases here gets a gold membership with all kinds of perks. So, you know, if your unit's being rented out and you want to rent a comparable unit, they will give you great rewards, and you get all kinds of perks for traveling all over the world through the Hilton brand. It's being managed by Encore Capital Management, and they're like the largest management company in the Orlando area. So Reunion, which is another huge project in Orlando, also managed by Encore. They're building projects in California right now. So they're a big brand. And so this resort is going to have its own private beach club. It's going to have access with all kinds of shuttles to the Disney theme parks and surrounding parks for all of the residents. It's going to have all of the features of a typical Nbc Suites. So you're going to have the the really cool buffet breakfast, and you're going to have happy hour. Mike, we're going to go get some drinks, man. We're going to buy a couple units here and chug it with some of our friends. We're going to have a good time. You only have to pay $25, okay, to utilize the breakfast and the happy hour for the entire family. So if you get a 2-bedroom, you have 5, 6, 7 people there. Everybody eats there and drinks for bupkis, drinks at the local. If you go to Margaritaville Resort, you're spending $20 a drink. So needless to say, great value there. And so they just started construction and broke ground about, 2.5 weeks ago. I was there and they had a groundbreaking ceremony. I happened to walk in. I didn't know they were breaking ground, but I walked into the sales center and 50 agents came off this big bus and they were serving food. It was just good timing. And anyway, so I was checking out the project while I was there. There's going to be a total of 300 units, 60 condos in each building. They've already sold out over 80% of the first phase, which is building 1. The second phase is building 2. They've had their first price increase. They were starting in the 230s. They've raised the prices for building 2 for the studios at $242,900 to $289,900. There's 2 different size studios. Some of the studios have lockout units, meaning they're adjacent to a 2-bedroom, right? And so like if a 2-bedroom user needs extra space, they have another family member, they want their in-laws in a separate bedroom. Ronen, I can break down the dollar per square foot for you afterwards. I'll send you an email to that effect. I don't know the exact dollar per square foot, but I'll get you that answer. So $242,900 to $289,900. So they have some that have lockouts on one side, some have lockouts on 2 sides. So if I was to get a studio unit, I would probably get the studio with lockouts on both sides. The 2-bedroom units are facing the pool with balconies, and then the studios are between either 2 or 2 and a 1-bedroom. And so it's a good unit because whenever a larger party is taking a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom and they want extra space for extra family members, they're going to utilize it. So I would assume that the rental rate on those, the occupancy rates are going to be really high on those units. So they range from $242,900 to $289,900. The 1-bedroom start right now from $311,900 to $351,900. Occasionally, some of these units in phase 1 are becoming available, and they're still honoring the first phase pricing. So if something comes up and you guys are interested, I'll try to get you that discount, which is going to be $10,000 to $20-something thousand if we can get it. The 2-bedroom units are starting at $437,900 to $485,900. So they already have a ton of people on a wait list for building 2. They're starting to release the units in the next few days. As far as deposits go, the first deposit is 10%. And that's upon selecting a unit and signing a contract. The second deposit is an additional 10%, 30 days out from signing. And the final deposit is going to be when the roof is installed. They're anticipating delivery August of September of next year. So as Lauren mentioned, they do have a concession towards closing costs. If you use their in-house lenders, $5,000 will be paid towards closing costs. Additionally, what's not on this screen, if you are from out of state or you are an international investor interested in the project and you come to visit this project, they will reimburse you up to $2,500 for your travel expenses to Orlando. So that's flights, your food, entertainment. They want you to stay at the Margaritaville resorts. They have a partnership with them. So you can stay at the hotel or you can stay at the cottages or the villas and really enjoy yourself and get a feel of the project while you're there, and they'll reimburse you. So just keep all your receipts. And I don't know if it includes the Disney parks, but I'll have to ask that. I should have asked that question, but they want you to enjoy yourself. Financing wise, as Lauren mentioned, we can get US residents financed with 20% down. That they have programs from 20 to 25% down, and for foreign nationals, 35% for international buyers. And a lot of these programs in these resorts do not have income requirements, which is really great if you're a foreign national. All right, so let's move to the next slide, Lauren. All right, so one of the major advantages of being at this particular resort is directly adjacent to Margaritaville, which this Hilton project shares the same main entrance to. Within walking distance is Sunset Walk. And at Sunset Walk, there's like 15 restaurants, Studio Movie Grill, which is this really fancy modern movie theater for the kids. It's Sugar. If any of you guys have been to Savannah, Georgia, they have like the best candy shop, sweet shop there, fudge, all that stuff. You can gain like 25 pounds just sniffing the fudge in. And anyways, they have one there on site. They are hosting events there pretty much every weekend. There's different event, every major holiday, they have events going on. There's live music at almost every one of these restaurants. And they also have an amphitheater in Sunset Walk, which is awesome. And they're bringing in major bands. The guy that does all the entertainment for Universal Studios is part of their project, and he's bringing in the same talent from Universal Studios into Sunset Walk. So you're going to have an amazing experience. You literally, if you want to, and you just wanted to come to visit, you don't have to leave this area. It's right off 192. For those of you who have been to Orlando, 192 is like the main thoroughfare. There's like thousands of restaurants and things to do. And directly across the street from this project is another project, which we will shortly be talking about, which has 300 additional condominiums. It's going to be mixed use. There's going to be all kinds of commercial parcels that are going to be built out with tons of additional restaurants. So literally you could just go across the street or stay right in the resort and never have to leave, other than if you want to take the kids to Disney World. And Lauren, can you go to the next slide, please? So these are some of the events like that they do. So there's a car and truck show every second Sunday. I mean, almost every weekend there's something going on there. For New Year's, they have an event. For the holidays, they're having an event. For Memorial Day, pretty much every major holiday, there's some sort of event, and they have like acoustic music going on and all kinds of great talent. They have this artisan street market that goes on Saturday. So you can see some of the events that are going on. Lauren, next slide, please. And you know, they do face painting for the kids and all kinds of goofy stuff, right? It's a lot of fun. You don't have to go far for entertainment. Next slide, please. And these are some of the restaurants that are on locale. This is Sunset Walk. So you got pretty much everything you want, Asian or Mexican food or pizza or burgers, or you name it, it's sort of there for you. Next slide, please. So one of the other really cool perks, right? If you're in Disney World and in the Disney area and you're not hanging out at a water park in the summer when it's 103 degrees, it's different than Sherry's 103 degrees. 103 degrees where Sherry lives, you stick an egg on the ground and it just fries, right? But it's dry. It's dry heat, right? Here in Florida, we get that moist heat. Can't hardly breathe in the summer. So you want to cool off in the summer. How better than to go to a local water park? You can walk from this location, from Margaritaville and from the Hilton project directly to Island H2O, which is right adjacent to that entertainment complex that I just showed you a couple slides ago. And this is a state-of-the-art water park. You can actually, every person gets a bracelet. On the bracelet, you can track your children, your spouse, or if you want to get rid of them, pull it off, whatever it is. You can literally, I'm just joking. I love Sherry's expression. So you can change the color of the water going down the slide and the music. It's a really fun, cool place. And it's really affordable, about $60 per person for an annual pass. And the Hilton owners get 20% off. So definitely something that I would recommend if you purchase to take advantage of. Next slide, please. So the next project we're going to talk about, oh, and you know what, going back, just so you know, that project is off 192. It is one exit, the last project that we just showed from Disney, maybe 7-8 minute drive into the main Disney gate. Okay, so really convenient location. This project also is only like 4 or 5 miles from Disney, also about half a exit away from the parks. The cool thing about the Grove, 192 on the last project, that's a pretty busy road, right? There's people going constantly coming through, but it's a ways in off 192. This project is like a mile or two off of 192. It's tucked into this huge forest reserve. You see the aerial map, right, with all these trees. So you don't even realize that you're close to all of this commercialism for Disney, and it really feels like you're getting away in your own special place. The Grove Water Park and Resort started construction a few years ago. They have 5 buildings that are already constructed. There are a handful, like maybe 30 units, 2 and 3 bedrooms that are still available for those that are interested. We'll go over pricing in a little bit. However, they have a brand new construction, new building called the Terraces, which is being constructed. And this particular project shares the Safari Water Park, which you see on the bottom right-hand side, which has a lazy river for those of us that just want to take a drink and chill and sit in a tube for a few hours. That's me. I work hard. I like to relax and play hard. Then there's that big pool that Lauren's over right now, and that's just a huge pool area for adults and kids. The cabanas are down beneath, and there's also a 4,000 square foot patio restaurant out by the pool. And I'm sure they're going to do something with the sales center that's up towards the upper right. I don't know what they're going to put in there. That white building on the top right. No, keep on going right, Lauren. I don't know. You're go down to the water park. What are you doing? Okay, so there you go. She got the building. All right, winner, chicken dinner. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. That's the sales center. When they sell out, I'm sure they're going to put another restaurant or something in there. My kids love the wave pool there. I don't know, I spent a couple $100 letting Reese take like unlimited surfing lessons. They have a surf simulator there for like $25 for a half an hour, and we got lucky. We got like almost an hour because there was nobody there, so she got a lot of time with the surf instructor. But a really great time. Next building, please. And there's also like 3 other pools on the premises, all kinds of it's a huge project. This gives a little bit more scale. So there are, I believe, 3 different restaurants in the poolside restaurant that I showed you at the Safari Water Park, 2 other restaurants that are part of the Grove. And then there's also a grab and go, and they have a spa on site. This beautiful huge lake that you see at the bottom. So I think something like, I don't know, 200 acre lake. So there's like swan boats that you can rent and relax there. There are throughout the project, there's tons of hammocks just to lay and chill out where you see all those palm trees. Go ahead, Lauren, go to the next. Don't feed the alligators though. I'm just joking. Okay, so this is just another screenshot of the water park, just to give you some idea. So you see where it says D, that's the restaurant right there. E is where the wave runner is. C is just like a splash pad for the kids, and then F is going to be your lazy river. A is the main pool, and then B are where all the water slides are. So it's a $20 million water park that you get to take advantage of. Go ahead, Lauren, next slide. All right, so the terraces have a different look than the other buildings. It's a lot more modern looking, in my opinion, pretty sleek, right? And so you're gonna have valet parking there, and you're gonna have check-in directly at the terraces. You don't have to go to the Grove main resort. Again, you'll have access to the Grove's water park and their restaurants on site, but it will have its own amenities in the complex. Next slide, please. And these are just some close-ups of, you know, the water park and some of the cabanas. Go ahead, Lauren, next slide, please. And these are just some, actually go back one step. So those are just some of the slides showing some of the restaurants. That's the grab and go, like that's open really late. If you want to order pizza or, you know, grab some sweets, or you get a hunkering for a snack at night, that's the place you're definitely going to want to go. They do have on-site like pizza delivery and other catering. So if you're lazy and don't want to, you know, make a meal, they'll deliver it to the room. They also have grocery delivery available, which is pretty cool. Next slide, please. You ready for vacation sharing? Yeah. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Grove is the older section. It's still some pre-construction or immediate delivery properties, I should rather say. So these units are a little bit more expensive than the terraces because they're at the end of the project. They're priced from $469 and up. There's about 20 units, give or take, still available. As of last week, there were 23, and those are 1,265 to 1,434 square foot units. They accommodate 6 people. We stayed in a 3-bedroom with myself, Lauren, and 3 of my kids and her son. So we were in a 3-bedroom and we were super comfortable there. We could have had a few more friends there. These units come completely furnished, and they have a fully equipped kitchen, full-size washer and dryer in the units, separate living and dining areas. And so that's pretty much the story on those. And Laura, next slide. So it's $5,000 to reserve a unit there and just put a reservation on a specific unit, 20% additional deposit within 15 days. One of the cool things in the terraces, which I'm going to go over shortly, we'll talk about it when we get to the next slide, but 20% additional deposit within 15 days. And depending, you know, if you're far national or you're local, it's going to be somewhere 20 to 25% again for the locals, and 35% or more for our far nationals. And that's to be paid at closing. Okay, go ahead, Lauren, next slide. Okay, so the terraces is going to have its own pool and its own amenities as well, and you have usage of the Grove's amenities. Next slide, please. And so you're going to have access to 3 restaurants on site, 3 large pools, the pool lounge, the full service spa, the arcade, the fitness center. Oh yeah, there's a really big arcade. My God, don't send your kids there. That cost me more than the trip. They're going for like $50 every 15 minutes. So I would advise just getting a PlayStation and put it in the room. It'll cost you far less. The grab and go market, the lobby bar, the boat and fishing dock, with all the water sports, and there is a meeting space with over 7,500 square feet for weddings and corporate events. And you have access to that $20 million water park that I went over. And there's going to be 136 total units, 80 studios, 56 1-bedrooms, and they're going to be delivering probably in the next 6 to 12 months to start delivering these units, and they're selling out really quickly. Next slide, please. So pricing wise, the Sanderling are the studio units. They start from $204,000 and up. So, price points go up depending on whether, what the view's like. There's really 2 views. there's either a pond view or a pool view, okay, or a parking lot view. I would opt for the pool or the water view. Those are the ones going quickest because they're going to rent the best, okay. So we just put a reservation down for one of our clients. We took a 4th floor pool view, and it was a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and I think it was for 310,000. Okay, just to give you an idea. So the studio units are studio with 1 bath. It's typical hotel room. Starts at around 204,000 and up, depending on view and floor. And several of them have lock-offs, so it might be adjacent to a 1 or 2 bedroom. And again, that's great for rent, so that the bigger units have overflow. Next slide, please. And the Osprey is the 1-1, and you can see it. It's a bed and a sofa. It has a little living room and a separate bedroom that's doored off, so like you can actually go with children there and put them in the pull-out bed and have privacy. And they have lock-off units as well. And you know what, I have to change this, but like I said, the pricing on these are right around the $300,000 mark. They go up there in the very low 3s. Yeah, I got to add that, Lauren. Oh, I forgot to fix that from last time. Next slide, please. And then the Cardinal are the 2 bedroom, 1 bath. They start at $369,000. And they have an ensuite bathroom and walk-in shower, dining room, living room with a pull-out sofa, private balconies, right? Fully equipped kitchenette, including 2-burner cooktop, a microwave, and an under-counter refrigerator. And those are starting at $369,000. All right. So there is a leaseback project available on the units at the Terraces. You know, we went over, I'll have to add this slide in for next time. For anybody who's interested, let us know. We have some video that we can share with you that really goes over like what the anticipated ROI is. But the leaseback project there is between now and the end of next year. And it is for the units that are studio units, okay? And those units, they are facing the parking lot, right? So they're having, you know, those are harder ones for them to sell. So they're giving an incentive to investors that are willing to purchase those, and they have a guaranteed return. It's around 6% roughly, after all expenditures are taken consideration on the project for 1 year. But when we went over all the numbers, you know, they've been seeing around 70–75% occupancy rates, and obviously 2020 was a nightmare year for any vacation rental project anywhere in the world, right? So they had around 50% occupancy during that time, which is good at that, right? But they're anticipating probably 75 to 80+% occupancy. On the last project that we talked about, you know, Margaritaville was seeing like 90% occupancy rates, and we're thinking that that project is also going to get up to that pace, especially with over you know, millions and millions and millions of Hilton members worldwide that they're going to promote the project to. So with this project, you know, you're probably looking ROI of somewhere, depending on the size of the unit, around 6 to 7% return on investment. Okay, next slide, please. So to reserve units there, it's about a it is a $5,000 deposit to reserve a unit, and then within 30 days of reservation, 20%, and an additional 10% deposit in another 30 days. And then they do have financing at 30 and 35%. So, you know, probably 30 at 35%, and then some that don't qualify at 40. So depending on which financing program you qualify for, rather, there'll be an additional 5 to 10% deposit. You're going to get a job on Wheel of Fortune. Awesome. Well, next time you got to give me control of the slide deck. All right. You are my Vanna White, honey. Okay, so actually we have 2 projects now. And so now for those of you that condos are not your flavor, and there's a few that's probably not the case. For me, I don't need to necessarily have the big house, right? But if you're looking for a larger residence, and you would prefer a townhouse or a single family residence. Lennar's project at Story Lake, which is, in my opinion, the best of the locations of the bunch. In any event, at this project, you have single family townhomes and condos. It's mixed use, and they start from the 200,000s. There's 4 different collections and about 1,000 home sites. And I'm sure they're going to continue to build because there's a lot of land that they own in the adjacent area. Go ahead, Lauren, please go to the next slide. All right, so the Terraces vacation condos, which they only have a handful left, if they're even still available, they're moving fairly quickly. There's 447 units. You can sort of see what the
No,
facade.
they're sold out.
They are, yeah, they're a week or two ago. Okay.
There's 45 people on the wait list for the townhomes, and they are getting people in. The only people that are getting into the condos as of today are people that get into them because people don't follow through and close on their deals. That's
Right.
it.
So you could always get on a wait list, and there's always going to be people that default on their payments. But we'll talk about it regardless. There were 447 condo units there, 2 and 3 bedrooms, and priced pretty much from 300 to 340. Go to the next one more. And so here are the townhouses, which are now being sold very quickly. They're 100, about 100.
I don't think these are the townhouses, Craig. I think they have it out of order. That's the townhouses.
Okay. Oh, these are the vacation villas. Yeah. So
Wait, this is not townhomes. This is single family.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I apologize. I thought it was in order. So the vacation villas. Well, you want to pick a slide? Which one are we gonna go with? Vacation villas, 118 units there. They're 5 and 6 bedrooms. These are pretty much like semi-attached, or they're just on very tight to one another on like 0 lot lines, as you can see. 5 to 6 bedroom, 5 to 6 bedroom units. They're usually 3, 4, 5, 6 bathrooms. They start from 568.9 to 590. Now, what most of the owners do with these properties is they will hire. They'll either do it themselves, or they'll hire. There are firms that will theme out these rooms. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, they'll make one room the princess room, the other one is Harry Potter, Star Wars, Mickey, whatever the case is. It shows extremely well when it's on Airbnb, right? People are looking, boring house, boring house, boring house. Oh my God, fun house, we're going to Disney, let's rent it. So well worth putting that in. Most of the people do not use the garages for a garage space. They'll go ahead and convert the garage into an arcade, playroom. The more fun toys you put in there, the more your unit rents for. One of the guys that was helping us out, he has a contact there that we're starting to utilize that does Dave & Buster's arcade equipment, and you're getting it like 50% wholesale rate. And you put a few cool games in there, and the kids are thrilled, and the parents are even more thrilled because they don't have to spend $50 an hour at the local arcade at the community. All right, so let's move on to the next one, Lauren. So the single family residences, we toured several of these. I mean, some of them are massive, like 4,000 or 5,000 square foot, 9, 10 bedrooms. And then there are more meager, 6 bedroom, 7 bedroom units. So the cool thing about the larger units is you can lock some of those out and lock off some of the doors. So when you put it on Airbnb, especially let's say in the summer months when it's not in high season, not everyone wants to rent a 10 bedroom at a much higher rate. So you could rent it as a 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 bedroom for the right size family to lease out the property and still capture a tenant rather than have vacancies during that time. There's about 150 home sites there, and they range from, we looked at 9 and 10 bedrooms. So I think they have larger ones that aren't mentioned on this slide, and they range somewhere in the 600s to upwards. Lauren, what were the ones we were looking at? The 10 bedrooms were like 8 and change or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
850 something.
850. Yeah. Okay. So next slide, please. And so they have great amenities. There's a huge clubhouse there, resort style pools, family pool, lazy river, water slide, swim up bar, beach entry, spa, fitness center, theater, game room, kids club, tiki bar, volleyball courts, and a sundry store if you want some snacks. Next slide, please. All right, so the Homeowners Association fees there, they range on the townhouses about $379 a month after all of your dues. And then in addition to that, You have monthly HOA fees of $566.84 in the single family houses. We'll get you all the fees to review. If you guys have an interest, just let us know. And Lauren has a Dropbox link and she'll send it to you. Next slide, please. So the buying process there is a $5,000 at reservation, balance of 10% of the purchase price within 2 weeks, 15 days of execution of an agreement, and the remainder of a 30% deposit within 90 days. And so some of these projects have more favorable financing. You might not need all of that. And almost every one of them has some sort of incentive if you use their in-house lender that they're giving you closing cost credits. Next, please. So the last of the 4 projects, we're almost done. I hope I didn't bore you guys to death, is Windsor Island Resort. This is a great newer project. They're on wait list, strong demand here, but they are getting properties out to you. If you go onto the reservation list, just might take a month or 2 or 3 to get the property. They're priced from the low 400s. This is actually in an adjacent community to Orlando, but only 8 miles away in Davenport, Florida. There's 9 different floor plans, 5 to 10 bedroom homes, 4 to 8 baths, and some don't have a garage and some have as many as 2 garages. Next slide. Now, Windsor has been building multiple resorts in and around Disney. They've all been a huge success. There are 617 units in this master plan community. It's a gated community, 24-hour man-gated community, world-class attractions, minutes from the property. It's pretty much close to all the major parks. All of the units come with shingle roofs. There are private heated pools available, 5, 6, 7 bedrooms. Come with a 12 by 24 pool. The 8, 9, and 10 come with a 12 by 26 pool, and the townhouses even come with pools 7.5 by 18. So the little tiny sort of get yourself wet and cool off when it's 95 degrees, right? Not for big guys like me. I need a bigger pool.
Dip pool, right? Just go dip.
Yeah, I just did take a quick dip. We'll go over to the main pool. So there are brick paver driveways in the driveways and the pool decks, stainless steel appliances in all the units. There's a storage closet. Almost in every one of these, actually in all of these projects, there will be a owner storage closet, so you can leave your personal effects and they'll be locked up. Granite and tile throughout the kitchens and bathrooms. Blinds are included. Covered lanai with a child safety fence, so we don't have any accidents, and a washer and dryer in every unit. Next slide, please, Laura. So those are just a few of the, I think they had 11 different floor plans. So that's what the facades are looking like on the homes. Next slide, please. And so just like the other locations, you're gonna have the lazy river and the nice pool. It looks all the same at some point. That's a site map of what it's gonna look like after all the homes are built out. Next slide, please. And so you're right off of close to 192 off US 27 near I-4. So you're near all the major arteries to get into Disney. You have shopping nearby off 192 and off I-4 on I-Drive and US 27. There's transportation. I believe they're going to have transportation on site into the Disney resorts. You're 30 miles from Orlando International Airport. Right next door to this location is a Publix and Berry Town Center, which is all the major shopping that you're going to need nearby. And recreation wise, there's more things for you to do than your pocketbook can usually afford. All right, next slide. So, I'll let Lauren, this is her spiel. We'll let her take over.
Just really just summing it all up, that the key is for number 7, after we're presenting you with these opportunities, is to satisfy all of the check boxes by finding the best properties for you with the amazing investment opportunities. There's upside on resale, there's great cash flow, there's possible lease back, as we talked about with the projects. Hands off as you want it to be, vacation home for you and your family, amazing amenities close to the parks, and financing options available, which is really great. So,
yeah, and one thing I didn't touch on, guys, just so you know, like those last couple projects, each one of those projects has 2 or 3 or 4 management companies that you can choose from. They have different rates. The rates really range in the like 10 to 15% range for the single family and townhouses. Your management fees on the condo hotels, which we can go over in much more detail, is significantly higher, but that's totally hands off. And that's because they have to, there are people coming in and out like literally on a daily basis. So your fees are going to be much higher. There's more marketing expense to fill the properties up. So we'll go over that at another time.
And this is the 10 steps to successful US real estate investing. I'm going to put a link as soon as I stop sharing my screen. We just created this as a download yesterday, so would love to share that with you guys. It's really great and simple to follow. And look, the truth is it just gets you started, right? But what do I want you to do? Come work with me, obviously. And that's it. That's the presentation. I'm going to put the I can't think of the word, the download in the chat. Actually, my amazing assistant created a great download that I will also share with you as well. She just finished that today too, but I'm going to put this link in the chat so you guys can access the 10 steps to successful real estate investing.
Or you want to stop the recording and we can answer questions also?
Yes.
Mhm.